All right, friends, Romans, countrymen, this is Chris, and I am playing a brand new Grandpa game today. We are playing, technically, it is a game called Medieval 2 Total War. This is a mod for Medieval 2 Total War called Europa Barbarorum. I'm going to be pronouncing so much stuff wrong. Europa Barbarorum 2. It is a mod for Medieval 2, and I love it because Medieval 2 is a lot better than either Rome Total War 1 or Rome Total War 2. It's much better than Rome Total War 2, which is a more recent Grandpa game, but I just like this one so much better. Medieval 2 was like the pinnacle of Total War games, and then they decided, hey, we're gonna make it worse. No. Nope, we're not going to do that. But we are going to be playing differently than most other Total War players because I just don't like how the economy works in any kind of Total War game. Every city makes a certain amount of money, or, makes you negative money even sometimes. And that's how much money you have to play with. It's a turn-based game, so every turn you play, and then you click end turn, and then every other faction plays. We're not going to be doing it like that. Taxation in the ancient world was weird, and especially in ancient Rome. Ancient Rome was like almost a libertarian society, where they only had a few taxes in the Republican period. They had, I know, a cattle tax, a land tax, a tax on goods coming into and out of any cities, a tax on the profits of a profession. So, like, let's say you're a blacksmith and you'd have to tell the urban praetor or whoever how much money you made in profits, and then there would be like a small amount of taxes on that. The main other ways that Romans made money off of taxation was through tribute from allied states. There's no good way to like represent this, and also through plunder. Like, a Roman army is victorious in battle, and a treaty is made between Rome and the defeated state, and 10,000 talents had to be paid from Carthage to Rome. Well, no game that I've ever played anyway, does this properly. So, and public works. Public works were not generally paid for by the state. They were paid for by wealthy Roman aristocrats. Like, oh, I'm going to have a bathhouse built, or oh, I'm going to build a temple. Well, on the front of the temple, there's going to be an inscription saying that Agrippa built this temple for the worship of all the gods, and the subtext being, hey, please vote for me in the next election. So, yeah, there's no good way to represent that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be totally cheating, and I'm going to be adding money to myself so that the game can be played properly. At least the way that I think it should be played. So, I'm also going to be cheating the auto-resolve. So, like, let's say that I'm fighting a battle against some nobody slaves, and I have a full stack army against their, half stack army. I don't want to fight this battle because it's just going to be a waste of my time. I am going to enter in a cheat code that improves the auto-resolve amount, because the auto-resolve in this game is awful. Just like in every other Total War game, the computer is like, okay, I'm going to put your strongest units against their strongest units, and I'm going to calculate how many casualties you likely would have taken. Well, I never take that many casualties against like a small army like that. I typically just steamroll them if I actually, like, you know, take the time to fight the battle. But the auto resolve will give me 500 dead for reasons unknown. Nope. I am just going to put in a cheat code to auto win the battle, because ancient battles typically had giant lopsided results where, like, one side is completely wiped out and the other side took 50 dead or less. Because most of the time, most of the casualties that happened in a battle happened after one side or the other had already been defeated, and then the cavalry moves in and wipes them out while chasing them down up until, you know, dusk. That's when most of the casualties in battle happened, unlike Hollywood would lead you to believe. So, might do a couple other cheats like forced diplomacy, but that doesn't always work. Those are the two main cheats that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be giving myself tons of money because I am not playing by their rules. I'm not going to be doing it all the time, though. I'm going to be giving myself tons of money after major victories or after I get peace with the Gauls or whatever. Yeah. So, Rome total cheat. Let's play. Man. I love how good this looks. Yeah. Yeah. The Gauls won a battle outside of Rome, and they occupied Rome for a little bit. And the Romans paid them off, and that was typically how a peace was made, by paying off whoever, and then they would go away. And sometimes you would be made like a tributary state or whatever. You know, the game just does not properly show this off. So we're cheating, totally cheating. Senatus Populus Quad Romana. Alright, here we go. Come in. Come in. Do it. Come in. There we go. Ugh, I love this. It gives you history of what's going on in every year, and it is 272 BC, and the Romans have just kicked Pyrrhus of Epirus out of Italy, and there were mercenaries running all over the land of Italy, and some mercenaries who used to fight for Rome instead took over the city of Rhegion. And Rome, it is a mission, quote unquote, for me to go and take over southern Italy. Because southern Italy is full of Greeks and rebels and whatnot. Successor system, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Rome has a very small fleet, which I'm going to put here in... Wow. I might. Speech. Yeah, we're turning that way down. Alright. Yeah, now they're screaming at me in Latin a little bit less noisily. Okay. Mentule, he called me a dick. Alright, so we are going to take men and join them into this legion. Lower the taxes a little bit so they're happy with me. We are gonna recruit troops here. One Hastati, which were the youngest troops. I don't like also how much these troops all cost. Like, these men in the Republican Roman period would have come with their own arms and armor. The state didn't have to buy that. That was just something that every Roman man was expected to have, which is why there were property qualifications to enter into the actual legions. And if you had less money, then you might become a velite. If you had a little bit more money, you would become one of the hastati. If you had more money than that, you would become a principe. The principes, had like the full amount of armor, while hastati only got that little breastplate right there, just to like protect their heart, I do suppose. And then finally you had the triarii, which are the third line. Romans fought in 3 lines, so you'd have the hastati up front, the young men, and then they would fight for a little while to tire out the enemy, and then they would be expected to withdraw after a little bit. And then the second line, the principes, would come up, and they would fight with the enemy some more. And the principes were actually usually the ones to win the battle. If you actually had to call on the third line of the triarii, things were not going well for the Romans in that battle. It became like a saying, like, oh god, this battle is going to the triarii. So, these men were also not really, like, paid. Like, they were expected to get a share of the plunder after a victorious campaign, but not always. That was a general's prerogative. Like a popular, smart general would definitely give his troops a share of the plunder, but that did not always happen. These men could also be recruited from Italian allies. So after Rome won a war, they kind of followed like Goku Dragon Ball Z rules, where like, oh, I beat you, now we're friends. You must now supply me with troops whenever I call upon them. Again, the Roman-Italian allies, though, were not really called on to provide much in, like, physical taxes. But for some reason, the recruitment cost is almost 1,500 gold for these guys, but the upkeep is only 280 per turn. If I was writing this mod, I would have completely flipped those around and had the recruitment cost be like 280, but the upkeep cost would be just like much more, because what the men did expect instead of pay was they would expect it to be kept fed in this Republican period. And that's where the main expense of the army would come from, not from manufacturing arms and equipment and whatnot for these men. It would be feeding these men out in the field. So we are recruiting and see, just like that, I'm out of money. So we are going to give ourselves just a ton of money. Add money, 40,000. Add money, 40,000. Add money, 40,000. Add money, 40,000. And this, in my own brain, represents Roman noblemen, just like, providing what the state needs. This is it's not something that they're required to do, but if you want to become a Roman magistrate, it is expected of you. There's a difference. So, let's move this army over here and into that little army zone of control. They are Italian hill tribes called the Apulii. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't care. Down here in southern Italy, you have it controlled by rebels. And then Epirus. Epirus is where Pyrrhus came from. Epirus is the Adriatic coast region right here. Philip of Macedon's wife, Olympia, she came from Epirus. The Epirotes were traditionally allies of the Macedonians. They often married each other's nobility. So Alexander was half Epirote, and Alexander's most famous successor probably was Pyrrhus, and we just booted Pyrrhus out of Italy at this point. Pyrrhus was an amazing general. He won at least 3 victories against the Roman army, but after his second victory, he lost so many men that a man came up to congratulate him on the victory, and he said, "Victory, one more such victory, and I'll be undone." Because you could win battles against the Romans, but the Romans were just really stubborn and would never, ever give up. In the Greek world, they would sue for peace, and the Romans just never sued for peace, at least not in this period. So yeah, this army is tiny and pathetic, and the auto-resolve will probably have me losing 300 men, but I do this. And then the auto-resolve says that I lost 32 men to 226. That sounds exactly about right for an ancient battle. I'm just not wasting my time with playing out every single battle that comes up here. So, another thing that I love about this mod is they do a really good job of having people in the trait system. They can run for military tribune or tribune of plebs or a delay, praetor, consul. This guy is an ex-consul. He is a proconsul. So it improves law by one point or whatever. +3 influence, +1 command, +2 to personal security. I love that. You have to have characters in Rome in order to run for offices at a certain time. There's a campaign season. This is a 4-turn per year game. God, let's lower your taxes so you don't hate us. So, 2 field armies. Recruiting those men. Alright. I think that's all the recruitment I can do right now. Yeah, all the recruitment I can do right now in my current settlements. Okay, so I can make these guys Italian allies. They were basically second-class citizens. They had all the rights of a Roman citizen. They just couldn't vote in Roman elections. So yeah, let's make them Italian allies. Or wait, maybe, you know what we should really do first is roads. Roads everywhere. All of the roads, like a good Roman. That way our legions can actually move around. Okay. This fight against the Gauls in northern Italy is a little bit bigger, so I actually am going to play it. Let's hire some mercenaries. Now, mercenaries were very common, and the game gives me tons of mercenary options. Oh, I love mercenaries. And the thing about them is they would have had high recruitment costs, but very low upkeep cost. A mercenary was, given a bunch of gold straight up, but then the state was usually not required to feed them. So like I would say high. Okay, we are back. I had a crash. Something about my graphics. I don't know. When I tried to enter that last battle. I know I was on a rant about mercenaries, but let's just go do this again and see if it crashes. Wait, let's save the game quick. Boom. Let's do it. Come on, big money, big money, big money, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Big money, no crashes, no crashes. Alright. That seemed to fix it. Okay, so the Romans fought in 3 lines with the Hastati up front. So I will give them that. I'm actually not going to show this part of the battle every time the organization, because it takes a minute. Wait, we should add this guy to the Hastati. Alright. Second line. 2. Form a line, please. And then spearmen in the back, please. In the future, I'm just going to cut this part out. Then 4. Cavalry in the back. Have you form a double line. And then skirmishers. 5. Spread out. Form a line. Alright. So, here we go. 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 Looks like the Italian Gauls are going to form up on that hill. Fine by me. Let's move you guys. Add a walk, not at the double quick. Move my cavalry off to crush their cavalry. Skirmishers. You can go like that. Alright, speed it up a little bit. My cavalry. Go and wreck their cavalry. Skirmisher cavalry. You're... just get fucked. There we go. Don't charge into the enemy line, please. skirmishers, what are you doing here? You skirmishers can all attack those guys. Oh. Auto fire? Yeah, you're all in auto fire. Good. Huh? Fuck them up, please. I don't know what was going on with my graphic settings or whatnot. God, these guys look so good. It's like they're so detailed, like you can almost smell the men's bad breath. All right, all right. Skirmishers. Reform the line back here. Run, please. Get out of there. Get out. Get out. Yeah. Oh yeah, javelins. That was a great part of what the Romans were good at. They carried 2 javelins with them that they would throw right before a charge. And these javelins would stick into people's shields, and it's really hard to pull out a javelin. Some of my skirmishers didn't want to get out in time. Yep. Go get them, boys. What are you guys doing? Get over here. Get in the fight. Triaria, you can go get them. Come on, you guys should be easily winning this. Come on, go get him. You swing around. This was another thing that made the Roman army great. You would often have individual cohorts who, if they were not fighting, an astute tribune or centurion might be able to run them around into the enemy's rear. You see this happen in a lot of different battles, like I forget the name, but the battle where Hannibal's brother Hasdrubal was destroyed. That battle was won because the Romans had unengaged cohorts, and they swung them around from one wing of the army right into another wing, you know, marching them from behind. Everybody get in there, except you. Man, this Gallic cavalry is tough. Looks like the enemy general is running away like a coward. And there we go. Victory for Rome. A lot of the actual casualties in the battle would now occur. Not a whole lot of men actually died fighting to the death in ancient battles. What would happen is that your side would begin to rout, your units would lose coherence, and then the enemy cavalry would come in and hit you from the side or behind. And that was the end of you. Men cannot run faster than horses. And that was it. You know, you would have one side who would come out relatively unscathed, and then you would have the other side utterly destroyed. Like we're doing right now. Let's speed it up a little bit, because this is just a running down phase. Might also skip through these parts, you know. I can do the editing. Ain't nobody actually want to see this whole bit. But it's the first battle, so... And we do want to run these guys down, or else they're going to go right into... There is a city not too far away here, held by the Italian Gauls. You know, and you say Gauls and you say Celts, and like you think France, Belgium, Netherlands, that region. But the Gauls were actually everywhere. The Gauls were, of course, in those regions that I just mentioned, but at this time, the Gauls controlled northern Italy. They controlled Britain. They controlled parts of Spain. They were known as the Celtiberians in Spain. They were in the Balkans. They were even in Turkey. The people in the Bible, known as the Galatians, were in fact Gauls who, after rampaging around Greece for a while, those Gauls retreated out of Greece, and they decided to do the same thing to Turkey, where they were defeated by a Greek city called Pergamon. Pergamon, not many people have heard of it. There's not much left of it today. But back then, it was like the new Athens. And Turkish Pergamon defeated the Gauls, and they actually, yeah, there are only 6 men left. They're going to get away. All right. 230 lost, so I have 1,000 men left for Regulus. Okay result. Not my best battle ever, but it's been a while. Yeah, so Pergamon destroyed the Gauls, and they resettled them in central Turkey, and they became the Galatian people of the Bible. Paul's letters to the Galatians. Those Gauls would have been heavily Greekified by the time that Paul was writing to the Galatians, but you know, they still had a lot of Celtic names and identity. But they would have been writing in Greek. Auto win this one. I auto win every battle like this because I shouldn't take hardly any casualties. I should lose 2 men. You know, that fixes the game's dumb auto-resolving. Okay. Moving troops north. They're not going to be happy no matter what I do. Okay, forgot to do this. Again, after that dumb crash. Took me a minute to figure it out. Let's go murder Quintus here. Another auto-resolve. Yeah, 20 men to 228. Yeah, that's how ancient battles went. All right, so the Tarentines were Greeks who inhabited southern Italy. They were originally a colony of Sparta, but they were actually not very good fighters, and they invited Pyrrhus of Epirus to come into their lands and fight off the Romans, and it didn't go all that well for them. As soon as Pyrrhus retreated, Rome sent an army and besieged Tarentum, which is modern-day Taranto, and took the city back. And then all of Italy beneath the Rubicon, which is basically the border of northern Italy and southern Italy, it would have been right around here. All of that was then under Roman control. Alright, I think that's all I need right now. Let's end the turn. I may, in the future, edit out turn flips because they take a while, a couple of minutes. I mean, a lot of stuff, no one wants to see, the bullshit. Turn flipping, you know. But here you get to see, at least on this first time, all of the different factions that are in here. Ooh, the rebels. Technically, I think Ilathroni means like free people. But they're attacking me, so let's see if I can pull off a victory. Oh boy, they got a lot of cavalry in this army. Actually, let's withdraw. Yeah, let's not fight that. Carthage is breaking its treaty with Rome. Carthage actually had quite a few treaties with Rome. One that was signed right after the Republic was founded in, what was it, 502 BC. I think that's when the Roman Republic was founded. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but it was right around the year 500, give or take a decade. This is this year in history. I love this stuff. If you want to read this, go right ahead and pause the video as I scroll down. But it's very detailed. The mod makers, chef's kiss for historical accuracy as best they could within the game confines. But yeah, it looks like Carthage moved an army to Messina. And Messina, much like Rhegion, had been captured by Italian mercenaries who came in and stormed the town. We don't care about that right now. We are going to go and wreak some vengeance upon the Greeks of Tarentum. Taurus, whatever. I mean, I guess that's a Greek name for it. That legion is actually doing great. So, we're going to send all of the boys that we recruited to the north. The Italian Gauls, I love that, like, Celtic designs on all their shields. Gallic swordsman. Kintoranoi, whatever. I'm just not trying with all of those names. Again, chef's kiss for historical accuracy, but like, can we please just call them Italian or Gallic swordsmen, please? Leves. Leves are a good garrison troop. Okay. We basically recruited most of a new legion. But Regulus, after his great victory, yeah, that's a pretty even fight. But they got only about 3 good units, a ton of cavalry. I don't like how much cavalry they have. Let's actually see if I can recruit one more cavalry. And yeah, naked swordsmen. The Gauls were crazy. They were described as being utterly without fear, and they would be fighting naked in order to prove their bravery. Like, I don't need no armor. That's just gonna slow me down. They were all fighting like Greek heroes, which at the end of the day is not going to it's not going to do all that well against Roman arms and armor. Oh boy, you can hear this weird didgeridoo sound is what Celtic war horns would have sounded like. So I'm going to organize my army, and I'll cut right back in a second. Okay, starting the battle up. What are these crazy Gauls doing? Alright. Let's just get the men marching. And speed the game up a little bit. Alright. So, let's get everybody like this into a proper 3-line formation and send my cavalry to go keep their cavalry busy. Run. Start shooting, boys. You can shoot them right in the middle. Yeah. Use all of your javelins on my stupid skirmishers. And that's what would normally happen too. You would have a skirmish before the battle really got started. Where the young men in the army would be running up and down, getting the enemy mad, getting them to throw their javelins prematurely, And like, this is just like the softening up phase, What's cavalry up to? Go hit them. Alright. So let them throw a few more javelins at me. First one, you start advancing. Second one, you advance, but not quite so far. Come on, boys, keep in formation here. What's going on with the cavalry? You always got to keep an eye on them. All right. They have chased those guys off the field. So now we're going to hit the Gauls in the back. You guys stop. Throw your javelins. You guys stop. Throw your javelins. Cavalry. Hit those bastards in the back. Triaria. We got some infantry trying to move around our flank. Go get them. Skirmishers. You can actually get in there. I don't care about you too much. Cavalry, regroup. And hit him in the back. Yeah, break him. That Gallic chieftain is sensing defeat. They're trying to turn my flank with some cavalry, but that's not going to work out so well for him. Come on, boys. Cavalry, regroup. And hit him again in the back. You can just keep on chasing, I guess. That charge was rather pathetic. Get out of there, get out of there. Yeah, my cavalry's getting mauled pretty good. Get in there. Get out. Alright, one Gallic wing. It's pretty much been destroyed. Cavalry, get over here, hunt down the survivors. Come on. Where are those Triarii? So that didgeridoo noise is what Gallic horns would have sounded like. You know, just imagine 100 of those all playing at once and just making this like weird otherworldly noise. Alright, probably we'll cut it here and cut back in when the battle is completely won. Alright, clear victory. White those Gauls out pretty good. Ambrax, he survived because he is a coward, but yeah. 309 to 826, it's not great, but you know, it's alright. Retinue expands. Ooh, a Corona Civica. That is the laurel wreath that Julius Caesar wore all the time to cover up his baldness. So I'm gonna reorganize my army a little bit here. Take Regulus. Oh wait, that army can't move anymore. Sometimes I will use the add movement cheat, but only if I'm like one unit, you know, little bit away from my objective, and like the game just like won't let me attack for stupid movement point reasons. Yeah, but generally I'm not going to cheese the game that bad. You know, like my cheating is for very specific reasons. So let's disband some guys. You can go in the city to retrain. Regulus, move with your new legion. That mercenary cavalry is pretty good. You can put them in there. You two. Let's put you in the new army. You two can go back in there. These two units of Principes and the unit of Triarii are pretty good. And that makes full stack. You can be disbanded. And I think you're a mercenary unit anyway, so disband you two. Disband this broken cavalry. This cavalry I do believe is mercenary. You can't retrain mercenary units. And then send these guys back to Rome for retraining. And when you retrain, it brings a unit back up to full health, but it also keeps their experienced chevrons, and experienced troops fight a little bit better. So like, you know, you'll have 3 bronze chevrons, and then it'll change to silver chevrons, and then it'll change to gold chevrons. We always want to retrain units whenever possible. So I think I'm just going to recruit that mercenary. Yes, thank you. I think I will end right here. And I will start up on turn 3. Thank you so much for watching this very exciting episode of Chris Plays Grandpa Games. I'll probably come back to X-Wing Alliance soon enough. I'm still making missions for X-Wing Alliance, but I just don't have any X-Wing Alliance related content ready. If you're just dying for X-Wing Alliance content. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Probably have another X-Wing Alliance thing in a few weeks, but for right now, I think I'm gonna be playing Rome Total Cheat. So thanks so much for watching. If indeed you have, like and subscribe or not, I don't care. I'm not a cop. Have a great day. Bye.